Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream. As usual, if you guys want to check out Sliders a series, you can always catch it on Peacock streaming service, and also available for purchase on Amazon and also Apple TV. So today we're going to be talking about season 2, episode 12. Let's start off the show.
What if you could revisit brand new worlds right here from your headphones, where anything is possible? Same shows, different perspectives. We've found the gateway.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Sliding Through Dimensions. We are Sliders Rewatch Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about season 2, episode 12, Invasion. Happy May the 4th, everybody. I know we said we were going to do something, but I guess we really don't have anything Star Wars related. But this episode is kind of
it's not even.
Well,
it's named Invasion.
Well, the show's a sci-fi show, so
it is a sci-fi
still within
show.
the genre. That's good. Yeah. So this episode, original air date for Invasion was June 28th, 1996. This episode was directed by Richard Compton. Got a couple special guests on here. We got Una Damon, who plays Mary. She was also on. She was in Deep Impact and also in The Truman Show.
Oh.
Yeah, she's one of the people in the control room.
Oh, and
yeah, and also Lee Weaver as Hilton Brown. I don't know what else he's in. Let me check real quick. He is also in. Oh, I guess he was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Bullworthy, and also in Donnie Darko. Oh, okay. So overall, what you guys think of the episode?
I don't know. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different type of episode, at least, but
yeah,
it was an okay episode, I guess.
Tanner, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. There's like one scene actually I didn't really like, but beyond that, yeah, it was like
You cried at.
Oh no, Mary, why? So on this episode, we get a big introduction to like a recurring what would you consider them? Like just adversaries?
They're just an antagonist.
Yeah. Called
a recurring problem.
Yeah. So the Sliders land in the middle of a strange invasion, and Quinn uses a timer to bring down one of the ships before barely escaping. The Sliders learn the new villains can slide at will, and soon captured on the next world, they learn the captors are Kromaggs and are intent on conquering every parallel world. So, yeah, this is where you get the first introduction to the Kromaggs. Is like they kind of introduce them here, but I feel like they only kind of mention them here and there, like throughout the rest of the next season, and then they start showing them a lot more often.
Do you know what's funny? I had completely forgotten about them until remember when we were going through the cards and they showed a Kromagg.
Oh, the trading cards.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that they were like a thing on this show.
Yeah. So it opens up. They all slide into this world, and Rembrandt's got like this whole like knee pads and helmet and everything.
He's got protection now.
Yeah, he's over there just kind of rubbing it in everybody's faces like, eh. And then I feel like Wade was really mean towards him in this at the opening.
I don't understand why both the professor and Wade are like, no, I'm gonna look like a dork. I don't want it just seems like a weird stance to take. Yeah, I don't want to look like a dork, so I'm not going to put on elbow and knee pads. Even though the professor's, I think the professor's constantly landing on hard things, though. So I think he would need like a butt pad.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're kind of making fun of him. Just like, I'd rather take getting my knee scraped up than looking like a like a nerd.
Though? Very, very 90s way of thinking, which is why like skateboarders didn't really wear. They're not really known for wearing like any
helmets
kind of protection
and knee pads
or
and
helmets.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a very 90s thing to be like head protection. That's dorky. I'm not going to do that.
Well, even now, like usually if you're a street skater, you usually don't wear that stuff. It's usually only when you're doing like what's in the skate park. Like that's usually when you use it.
You should wear it all the. There's that one skateboarder who does.
Oh yeah, wears helmet all the time.
Yeah.
He's like professional.
He's a professional skate. I don't know his name.
He's
young,
older.
but
He's younger.
He's like or I would assume he's.
He was like in his maybe in his 20s.
His 20s, yeah, but he's like known for wearing the helmet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, you should wear it.
It is funny, yeah. He's like stoned, like some of like the crazy fucking dance he gets in that helmet. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He must. Well, I'm sure it mildly makes sense for him if he's doing like all kinds of crazy stuff. You just don't want to take the risk. Yeah. So they land on this world, and
but Rembrandt is like, he's loving his protection.
Yeah, he's all like, well, when we get back home, I'm gonna make so much money. So like, he's like, for the average slider, you're gonna want, want all here.
Well, I forget what he called it, Rembrandt something. It was funny.
I don't forget what he says. Yeah, but Rembrandt mentions that it's pretty quiet, and then Wade's all like, well. What did you say?
This is another where she's like, when did you become Captain Obvious? Or I don't know.
Something
or
like
something
that.
about the obvious. Yeah. And I did think that was like a lot of attitude to throw at him, and I don't know why. Maybe she's just mad that he's not her like she is.
Yeah. So so they notice like it's super quiet. There's like nothing going on. They start walking around. And then you see it, like it shows the sign. It says Kromaggs. The end is here.
Kromaggs. Oh, the end is here.
Yeah.
And then Kromaggs rule.
Yeah, and they walk around, and they get like to like these two phone booths, and also the whole phone booths are all tagged up, and there's like nobody around.
Everywhere.
Yeah, there's tagging everywhere.
Here's a question: do we think the Kromaggs tagged all of it?
No,
I would assume people that were like there. Yeah.
And then they made mention like it seemed like it just like something had just happened because the paint was fresh, and then also so was the bread that I guess fell out of that truck.
What bread?
Yeah. There's like a truck, like a bread truck. There's a bunch of bread all over the floor. That's why they make mention of it.
Oh, I remember him saying.
He said the bread is fresh, and so is the paint.
Oh.
So there must have been some bread.
I remember the paint. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're walking around and they're trying to figure out like Rembrandt's like, what the heck's a Kromagg? It's like maybe some sort of street gang.
And then the timer starts going like beeping off, kind of crazy.
Yeah, it gets like it's like a bunch of feedback. It's like scratching on the wall. There's some feedback from the cat.
She's like, get on with it.
She's all get away from those Kromaggs. Yes. Yeah, so there's some sort of interference that's kind of like running on the same signal that the timer's on.
Yeah, and then the professor asks Quinn if he knows where it's coming from. And Quinn is like holding the timer, and he's kind of going like side to side, and he's like, oh yeah, over here by like northwest or northeast or whatever he says.
Yeah, I think he says northwest.
Northwest. But I'm like, how does he know that?
I guess like, just depending on like the direction he was holding at, you can kind of tell like, oh, you're getting more interference like when you face it this side than the other side.
I was just like, it's not, why are they acting like that thing's a compass? I don't know.
So they start like trying to seek out the signal because it's blocking they can't get a read on the next slide window. Yeah. So they start heading towards it, and Rembrandt and Wade like as they're getting closer, they end up in this this little amusement park.
You can kind of, when they first get there, you can kind of, when they start walking, you can kind of see like a roller coaster, like off into the distance.
And then also like you can see a roller coaster, and there's a couple other rides, but like you start hearing this like almost like a whale calling sound. Also in the background,
like
and
kind of like a deep tone.
Yeah, and then Rembrandt and Wade are like kind of like freaked out, and they want to get out of there. But Quinn was saying, oh, it doesn't matter if we even get 100 miles from here. If we can't find the source of that thing, we'll never know what our slide window is.
Yeah, essentially, I think Quinn is thinking we need to stop whatever
is blocking it,
doing that, so that we can see when we're. I guess they still have. So what's so the timer.
Do you really need to see that?
Yeah, that's what as long as you have the timer.
And it still makes a noise. It makes like a whole noise.
It's beeping a noise, but I think it's like it's not giving them a window read. It's like probably showing a bunch of numbers or something that's not giving them an accurate readout as to like when the next slide window is supposed to be. So they have no clue when the next slide is.
So I guess they still have to activate Why did I always kind of assume the timer just activated?
No, they have to push the button.
They have to
They have to push the button,
Oh.
yeah, to activate it.
They should just randomly push the button every 5 seconds to
No.
see if it's time to go.
So I guess I imagine even if they pressed it, it wouldn't open a portal because there's just that interference that's blocking it.
Oh yeah, I would assume that. Yeah, like
But
the
then
time to jump, you can't jump. In general.
It won't open the portal.
Yeah.
So they're heading towards it, and then they see this big giant ship in the air that kind of looks like a manta ray.
kind of, yeah.
It's got like a little tail, so it starts flying towards them, and then they start backing up, and they all kind of fall to the ground, and it like a spotlight opens up and starts shining on them, and that's
it
when
does,
Quinn,
and then it kind of makes so it starts shining on them,
Mhm.
and it was really bright, right? But it's daytime, so I was kind of like,
what does it matter if it's like
It's a really
it's a strong
intensely
enough
bright
spotlight.
light.
It's still like cast light on. So Quinn hits the button. Like I would assume the button he usually presses to open up
he
the
kind
portal.
of like shoots
but like
the timer at.
Yeah, and it shoots out like a blast that gives some sort of feedback to them, and then you see the ship kind of retreat and go up in the air, and then boom, and then crash over the horizon. Just big ass explosion. So then then
obviously the timer does do something when you press that button.
Yeah. So I just
shoots out electricity?
No, it shoots out like a portal blast. But like I guess with the interference that the ship was causing, it gives the ship like some sort of like electric.
Oh, well, I
feedback
guess
or
later
something
on
like
he
that.
he kind of says
explains
it's
it.
like opening up a laptop in
an airplane.
Which
it sends the like gyroscope all crazy.
because I guess that's what the thing was, right? Like you're not supposed to use electronics on an airplane.
Yeah, it interferes with the instruments.
Yeah. Although, is that still true?
I believe so.
I don't know. I don't ever hear about things into airplane mode anymore.
On takeoff, I think they do have you put it in airplane mode.
Oh yeah, but once you're in the air, it's
fine.
I always thought as a kid was you had to put on airplane mode for the whole flight. That's what I always thought as a kid.
Maybe that was the case before.
No,
it's because the last time we went on the plane, they had us put us in airplane mode on takeoff, and then afterwards you could take it off because you can connect to the Wi-Fi that's on the ship.
Yeah.
I mean, on the ship, on the on the airplane, or on the airplane.
I mean, it's a type of ship, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you remember when we took the ship to?
I wonder. I do wonder what the science behind that is, though.
I don't know.
Past and present.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
But yeah, the ship crashes and then they go straight into the opening.
Yeah, opening credits come up.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to them like walking towards the explosion, and then you get the title card right there, Invasion.
Yeah.
So they head over to the ship where there's a crash site, and then they're kind of taking a look at the ship, and then I guess was it Quinn picks up, or is it the professor that picks up like a piece of it?
Piece of metal, and then he calls it organic metal.
Yeah.
But I'm always I guess this is kind of very similar to the comic book where I'm just like, how do you know that?
Well, I don't know. Well, he's a scientist.
It's true, by hand. Yeah, scientists by hand can tell it's this and that.
He's like, and also, what does an organic metal mean?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I guess it was just maybe like a very fancy sounding like.
Or organic metal. I think a synthetic metal is made by combining different types of metals that then make it. I would assume.
Oh,
like
see, when they said organic metal, I thought organic as in alive. I didn't think organic as in like
a natural occurring metal.
I think it's a natural. Yeah, that's what you mean. It's like a natural metal.
Oh, I kept thinking it was like a flesh metal, and I was like, what does that mean?
This is made out of people's skin.
And so in my head, I was like, oh, the ship's like a living thing. I got this real wrong there.
Well, I don't know, because when they decide, to
well, Rembrandt and Wade want to leave.
Yeah, but they're like Quinn and the professor are like super interested in the ship, so they decide to go in there. They want to see if if anybody's hurt in there.
Which
do
makes
they?
Sense.
I don't know.
I don't think that's what they want.
Maybe just an excuse to go in.
Yeah.
I don't know. So they I think they're both intrigued. They want to see what kind of
They're hoping they
technology
see
is inside.
aliens in there. They just
I know. They're like, I want to see an alien.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you want to go into the ship? Would you want to leave?
Oh no, I'd want to go in for sure.
Fuck
You would wanna
no,
go in?
bro.
I
Yeah,
feel like I
man.
wouldn't like.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, and then
No,
fucking
man.
die.
Well, that's not what happens.
But yeah, but it doesn't end well going
But you
into the
don't
fucking
know.
ship.
Like
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
Don't go in the ship, man.
And I've seen enough movies to think that like
Going in the
I'm
ship
either
is
gonna
the
get
worst idea.
like I'm either gonna get implanted with something or
It's gonna be some fire in the sky situation.
like
So the professor and Quinn decide to go in and like take a look around, and they have Wade and Rembrandt stay outside just to be on the lookout, just
but
in case
before
anybody
that,
comes
before
out.
they do that, that weird guy in like the tuxedo
Yeah,
comes
that's
out
right.
out of nowhere.
That's right. Before they decide to go in, they're
You
trying to
remember
figure
the
out.
man in the tuxedo?
No.
He's got like a suit on. Oh, did you not?
I wasn't
watch
there
the
for that.
beginning
I
portion?
still missed this portion.
Oh, okay. So,
I-
so you missed the portion. You missed.
Well, I mean, I
I
got
thought
to
you
a
were
point.
gonna rewatch
I got
that.
distracted by a game. It was solid.
So
yeah,
this
in,
guy,
like, a fancy outfit
like in
just
a,
appeared
like
out
he was
of
going to an
nowhere.
opera or something.
Yeah.
He's got,
Well,
like, a
well,
jacket,
okay, my
fancy.
assumption right now is that it's it's a human that they took.
Hey,
Jesus
Monica!
My assumption is
Jesus.
that it was a human that they took because later on we find they have the other human.
No, this is an actual
you
person.
kind of find out, yeah. So it's a person that was from that world.
Oh, okay.
He
And-
kind of gives you some exposition. So
Yeah.
he shows up because they were trying to figure out what it was. He's like, he's like, are you the ones that took down the
Ship.
manta? The manta. He actually like calls the ship
he
by
did
name.
call it.
Hmm.
No wonder it looked like a man, right?
Yeah. And then he's like, yeah. And then he's all like, oh, he kind of gives them the information. Oh, no, yeah, these are the Kromaggs are from another world. And they're going to be very angry with him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're gonna want to take revenge
So-
for him killing one of the.
Yeah, taking down one of
One of
the
the
ships. And I guess he
So he does he gives you a backstory of what happened, that they've kind of invaded, and then he calls these two women his twin daughters.
Yeah, these other two ladies like appear behind him because he's all like,
Also very fancy dress.
he's basically
one was
he's
very
all like,
fancy.
I think I've said too much. I better leave before.
They
you
might
know,
be
they
watching.
might be-
Yeah.
The Kromaggs.
Yeah, the Kromaggs.
Kromaggs might be
They were
watching.
very keen to.
So then, these two ladies start
They
coming
were?
up behind,
Mhm.
and then he's like, my two twin sisters have arrived.
Oh, I thought he said daughters.
Oh, I thought you said sisters.
Whatever, he calls them twins, but one's like an older Asian woman, right?
Yeah.
In a very fancy dress, and the other is like a younger.
Also Asian.
No,
No.
I think
She's
she
a
was,
black woman, I believe.
But like so, yeah, and
Yeah.
she's not very fancy dressed.
No, she's got like some kind of like some army fatigues on, kind of.
Yeah, and so then and then what did he say? Oh, he says something. He mentions a place, and this is when Wade was like, "Oh, in our world, that's a mental institution."
Oh, because she noticed he had a bracelet on his arm.
Oh, there we go.
Kind of like I
Oh,
forget
they're
the
just
name.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, pretty much because he's saying
Yeah.
that her
So-
uncle worked at a facility with the same name, and it was a place for like
psycho.
just like-
No,
Sorry,
it's
yeah,
a
like a
she
psych-
said
like a
mental
mental
institution.
institution.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so then they're just like, oh, these people are just
They're
you know,
probably
crazy.
just free roaming because they were released by the people who were there on that earth.
the Kromaggs.
I don't know if necessarily the Kromaggs or if like the people that worked in the facility just let them
Left.
Just let them go.
I don't know if it. Well, I don't know if it was that, or if they just were
Let
gone.
them?
They were just
Yeah.
gone.
Or maybe
there was
they just-
nobody
they probably
just
to like
left
keep
them.
them in.
Yeah.
maybe like in some sort of destruction they
Maybe
they
Who
just
knows?
were able to get out. So then they
But
that's
what an
when
interesting little like
Random
scene.
moment.
Yeah, it was really random. But I guess it gives you some.
a little bit of backstory.
I get it gives you
Kind of.
backstory.
Like,
I
to
wonder
what
why they
happened
made
there.
them. Yeah, it was just weird. It was a weird little.
Well, I think. Well, yeah. They're obviously made to then make the people or make like the group feel like they're lying to a degree.
Yeah.
Like that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's when they start to go. And then they go inside the ship.
Oh, doesn't Rembrandt call them fruitcakes? And then the professor's all like,
Oh yeah,
Fruitcakes.
yeah. He's all like, oh yeah, he called them fruitcakes, and he's like, that's not very what's the word he uses? PC.
something like that.
No way is PC dropped this early
Yeah.
on.
He
Oh,
says-
politically correct.
Oh yeah,
he
yeah.
just
Oh,
says it,
He's
yeah.
like, that's not very politically correct.
Yeah. Does he say that?
Which
there,
I
I
or
didn't
what?
realize that.
No, he does
PC
say that
center
then.
Okay, he
Which
does say
again
that.
is like another
Oh,
interesting little like. They could put in there. But yeah, then they go inside the ship to look around, and then they tell Wade and Rembrandt to go look around the park. Yeah,
and just be on the lookout for anybody. So they go into the ship. They're kind of like looking around at all the instruments. You see like some of the mechanics kind of moving, so it almost does seem like it's like a living machine, living ship.
Sounds like it's breathing. There's a lot of breathing.
You know what the sound kind of reminded me of? You know when the TARDIS in Doctor Who
takes
off and it makes that noise before
the like wheezing.
Yeah, the wheezing sound. Maybe they took a sound bite from that.
They're like, make it slower and longer.
Go. So they're just looking around and then trying to figure out. And
what's
then they, what's what? And then it cuts to Rembrandt and Wade outside. They're walking around.
They're talking shit.
And they're, pretty much. That's what they're
Rembrandt
all like.
Again is like,
how come?
He's just like, I was just minding my own business.
Yeah.
And I got sucked into this.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
but this is funny because when he's, he's complaining, and we haven't heard this complaint in a while.
Yeah.
He's been kind of like, so he brings up that complaint again, and Wade is like, I thought we've already gone through this. Like, he's kind of like,
he should be allowed to bring it up. I think he should be allowed to bring it up.
Out of anybody there, he should be.
He has the right. He has the right to talk shit. Yeah, no, definitely.
And then Wade's like, well, how come we weren't allowed to
go inside? Yeah,
we're not scientists. Yeah, she wanted to go in there.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, I hope they hurry up because it's getting dark. And then all of a sudden, like, it's nighttime already. It's nighttime.
They've been in that shit for like 3 hours.
Where they just pull down the
That's why I was like, damn, how long were they in there for? Because then it cuts it back to them in there, and they're like looking at different instruments and like finding different things. And then they, I think Quinn notices something, and he goes over and like lifts up this one piece of like. Rubble, and you see
the Kromagg.
Dead Kromagg.
Okay, but this piece of rubble probably covered the Kromagg's head to maybe his chest. So he would have seen a whole body underneath that.
Yeah,
he lifts it, and it's like small enough for him to get one piece and then the other piece like top to bottom.
Yeah,
and move it aside. And it was almost kind of like shaped almost perfectly like the Kromagg.
To go over him.
Yeah, so initially I thought he was in some sort of like pod.
Yeah.
But just come to find out, he was just like laying on the floor.
Yeah, just like a random piece of rubble.
So he would have seen a whole body.
Well, they were on the other side of the ship, and then when Quinn kind of crossed over to the other side, then I think that's when he noticed it. Yeah, so they take it off, and then you see the first glimpse of of a Kromagg, very like what they even said, like very like ape-like facial features.
It looks more like a bulldog.
I don't know. They have like these
kind of.
It has like a.
They just have a very certain type of face.
There's a character in Star Wars that kind of I feel like has like a similar face, doesn't it?
It almost made me think of a Klingon from Star Trek. Like how their foreheads are very wrinkly. It's like that, but like their mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they see that.
And they all have mohawks.
And the Quinn's all like, "Oh, I broke its neck."
Yeah,
like he physically broke his neck.
He's like, "I broke his neck." What, he broke his neck in what? In
I guess
like crashing it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the crash, I guess the Kromagg broke its neck. So
again, how does he know? How does he know?
I don't know.
And there's a bone sticking out. But you can feel like there's probably like a weird bump. You're like, oh.
He's like, I broke his neck. But he feels guilty for having killed them.
Yeah. So and then you see the professor. He grabs like this thing off of its wrist. On its wrist, it kind of looks like a little like I guess I don't know what it is, but he grabs it and then it sets off an alarm.
It's a bracelet.
Yeah, it's like a bracelet that it has on it. But when he pulls it off of him, it sets off this like alarm.
Yeah.
And then they go running out of the ship, and then that's when they meet back up with Quinn and with Wade and Rembrandt, and they're all like
more Kromaggs start.
Yeah, and then they start running for it, and these two Kromaggs like come out and kind of like on the chase, and they're
I wonder where they came from.
I don't know. They must have been somewhere in the
vicinity.
Said
later on we find out that they were trying to communicate, right, with others. They were trying to make a treaty. They were doing a treaty.
Supposedly.
Right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
So there was other Kromaggs in the vicinity. They heard I guess it was basically a distress call.
Yeah.
When he touched that. So they start running and they start running after them.
Was it a distress call when he touched it or when he took it off, you think?
I think when he took it off. But whatever.
He
So
took it
Yeah.
off.
the professor takes it with him. I'm assuming he puts it in his coat pocket, and they take off running, and they kind of like running through like the structure of the roller coaster,
Yeah.
and then Quinn says they have like 23 seconds so they can open the portal and get out, and they're kind of like hiding from them, and then the Kromaggs turn on the power.
Yeah.
I think before this, this is when Rembrandt starts. Like he's upset that they looked inside the ship. They're like, he's like, we should have just left it be.
Yeah.
Do you
What
think
should-
they should have left it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I think they wouldn't have had any of this.
Yeah, and also the professor definitely should have taken that thing with him.
I think he was like,
Yeah.
I think he does that line that I like where he's like, oh no, but we had to fulfill our curiosity or something like that.
And then and that's funny too, because the professor's always like saying, don't
We
get
should
involved.
leave, be
Don't get
thinking-
involved with
yeah.
stuff. But I guess they were just intrigued. So the Kromaggs turn on the power, and then the lights come on and the stuff like a bunch of different stuff comes on, and then they hit the portal, it opens up, and then I think Rembrandt's the first one to jump in.
Rembrandt and then the
and Wade.
professor.
Oh yeah, you're
And
right.
then
I'm sorry,
Wade
the
and
professor, and then
Quinn
Wade and Quinn kind of
stay.
hang back, and they
Another portal opens
a
up.
portal opens
Red
up above
portal.
them. Yeah,
In
a red
the
portal.
sky.
That's how they let you know that they're bad guys.
The
bad
portal's
people.
red. I legit,
We're blue
I-
portal. They're red portal.
Yeah.
I legit, when that portal opened up, I thought to myself,
She
like,
screamed.
You're like, ah!
Yeah.
No, I thought to myself, like, oh man, the portal is just leading out to the sky.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the end of their
Oh,
portal and they were going to be
no.
stuck in that world.
Yeah, so that portal opens up, and another manta ray ship comes out from the portal, and that's when Quinn realizes that the Kromaggs are sliders as well, or they have
Yeah.
sliding
He
technology.
has to say it.
Yeah, and then
I also like
we
that he used his coin.
audience.
He used his coin phrase too.
Yeah.
Though he's all their sliders.
So like,
and
come on, man.
then the Kromaggs on the ground level start like shooting lasers at them. They have like these little things in their hands, and like phasers or something like that.
Something.
They
I
start shooting
get-
at Quinn and Wade.
Yeah.
And then that's when
Why
they-
did I think it was just like another timer? Since
Yeah,
he had
no,
shot
well,
them with
'cause-
the timer, I thought maybe they had
Yeah.
timers.
Mhm.
they're like, we have two settings on our timers.
I know. Kill.
and
leave.
leave. We kill and then we leave.
But this is the thing though. The whole time that they've been chasing them, they've been shooting at them. And then
Uh-huh.
they shoot at them at the no one's getting hit by these shots. They're like way off.
They're as bad as stormtroopers.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
they're awful shots.
They're shooting
How
like
did
crazy,
they-
just shooting around
How
them.
did they take over all of these worlds?
I know, right? Can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Jeez.
So Wade and Quinn jump into the portal, and then their portal closes up, and then the two Kromaggs kind of like run up as they just
Yeah,
left, and
this
they
portal
look all
closes.
mad. They're all
They always look mad though.
They
I can't
They
tell.
do because I tell you because their face is very scrunchy.
Scrunched up, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So they get out, and then I guess Rembrandt and the professor already landed, and Wade and Quinn come out, and Rembrandt's
is
laughing
he's
like crazy, and they're
laughing.
like, he tells him, he's all the professor crashed into that guy, baguettes flew everywhere.
Okay, and this comes back. So he landed on the guy and his bike, and
Yeah.
he had a bicycle. So he's like, baguettes were everywhere, and he's cracking up. Like,
Yeah,
he's
he
laughing.
stays laughing for a while.
And then the guy, I guess, there was some guy riding on a bike, and he had a little basket full of baguettes, and I guess they flew all over the place when the professor landed. And then you could see like the guy was like super mad at him. He's all like, he's
he
like,
started waving his
baguettes
baguettes
at him.
It's fair.
And then we find out that in this world, France took over. This is the new Versailles. I think they
Yeah,
called
that's
it,
what
right?
that's what the professor said.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go and they're like, and then it's nighttime when they landed there, but then it cuts to them in the morning, and they're like at breakfast
Yeah.
at this like little restaurant, and
They have a little glass of vino. They
Yeah,
have their
they're
breakfast.
eating their breakfast. Is their French waiter notices that the professor's
an
English.
English
He's like,
accent.
you're English. He's like, yes. He's like, oh, it must be nice to get off of that little island of yours.
Yeah. He just continuously mocks Britain.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the professor's really good. He doesn't really like say anything back. He's like, yes, and
There's that one scene where he's all like, "Must be nice to have good food instead of those
that
fish and
disgusting
chips."
fish and chips. And then they make comments to the professors like, "Oh, you're doing really good. I'm surprised you know not saying anything." He's like, "Oh, just wait till he sees this tip." So as they were sitting there, they're having a discussion about where the Kromaggs are from, and they were coming like the professor was explaining this theory about this type of apes that existed before that, I guess in our world.
It's the missing link.
Yeah, that there was a dead end, like as far as evolutionary wise.
Yeah, like
So
they would
like
kill other apes.
Yeah, so that he was theorizing that maybe the world that they're from, they did evolve and killed off like our human ancestors, like the world where we derived from.
It wasn't that they evolved; it was just that they had killed.
Yeah, they killed off. Yeah, no,
they had killed off.
Yeah.
Are we saddened that they're from another world?
What do you mean?
And not actual aliens?
No.
They're from just another Earth.
Yeah, just another Earth.
Yeah.
They got spaceships.
Yeah.
Have they ever been to space? I wonder.
I guess my question. Yeah, my question becomes
maybe.
It's like how do they get to this tech level?
Yeah.
Fuck, they're doing better than us, bro.
I know.
I know the answer to that, but I can't tell you.
Oh, you learn later.
Here's my other thing.
You learn
too.
where they
I
get their
would've been
sliding
like,
technology from.
Aliens.
So then
No.
now we know that
A different Quinn. I'm assuming. I'm
Oh my
assuming
god!
it is
their
Quinn.
version of- it's a Kromagg Quinn.
I don't think it's Kromagg Quinn. I think it's the Quinn that we met in the first season. In the first
Oh, you
episode.
got it.
Why did you say it?
Because no, it's kind of obvious.
It's
I
fine.
fucking locked that shit down though. Yeah, I'm fucking good.
Oh, you shouldn't have said nothing.
No,
you should have
no.
just been like, it is what it is.
I needed that
what it
shit
is.
confirmed, bro.
And,
Why is that guy constantly giving out sliding
Sliding
doors
tag,
to
yeah.
everybody?
You'll see that Quinn again later.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Um,
but yeah, okay, so these spaceships, now we know no matter what kind of vehicle you put into this portal, it's
Oh
fine.
yeah,
Right? Like you have a whole
Yeah,
spaceship
it's a
go
tube,
through that.
Yeah. So they're discussing like
Their options.
no, they were discussing that, and then
And then they're also trying to figure out what in their head that they should warn every Earth.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think Wade brings it up like, well, we should warn the people. And the professor's like, well, what do we tell them that a bunch of different like these ape like creatures are going to come in and invade your world?
Yeah.
But he did agree with her, that they should warn other worlds about them, but they're just trying to figure out like how to go about it. Like, how do you get them to believe you?
Mm-hmm.
So
also, how do you know? Like, you don't even know how to fight against them. Essentially,
I mean,
It's simple.
gun.
Fucking
Go get the
human
gun.
mindset.
Yeah. So
I guess that's true. They didn't have a gun when they were fighting them.
yeah. So
I
they're
guess you just break their necks. You know that their necks. Could
Oh yeah,
break.
you can break the necks. That's true.
yeah. It's not like they have like
It's
superhuman
true, they are
strength or
just-
anything like
they're
that. They're
just
just
apes,
people,
yeah.
like like everybody else. They just
Yeah.
happen to have advanced technology.
Hmm,
Given to them.
Yeah.
good job.
And so so then they're gonna leave breakfast, and then the professor tells Rembrandt. So I guess he's the treasurer. It's been like
That
he's
makes
the
sense.
one who-
smart. I'd
He
assume.
tells him, "Where's the silver pieces that you won?"
in the last casino.
So
But I feel
apparently
like
he's,
he
like,
handles a lot of the
always-
money though.
He just called him the treasurer. I'm assuming, yeah, like Rembrandt's probably
Rembrandt's the
one.
money guy.
It was the
He's
money
always
guy.
got the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, when didn't Wade have it?
Which one?
But we know that Rembrandt at least is like betting in any world he can bet at, and he's
Hey, he's
we've
good.
seen it.
He's
We've
good.
seen
That's
it
why-
before, but
that's how
he's
he got
good.
that
Maybe they go to
yeah.
casinos and like they're all like, all right, Rembrandt, let's double our money.
Yeah.
They're just like relying on him.
I mean, Quinn could do it too. Cal Carney. He did it. He did it on that one world.
Count cards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wait, why
Um,
don't they just have him do that everywhere they go?
I don't know. Who knows?
Well,
Who's
because
to say
Maybe
they
they do
don't.
both. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because they get money somehow.
True.
So then so then they realize that
That they lost. Their
well,
money.
he's looking for the money. Rembrandt's trying to find the gold. And he's like, kind of looks surprised, like, oh shit, I don't have
It's
any
not
money.
there.
And
So
then
you
it
think
cuts
that
back
he-
to the world that it came from, the ship, and then you
Mhm.
see the Kromaggs like reviewing surveillance footage from
Footage,
within the
yeah.
ship of
Mhm.
like the professor and Quinn inside, like looking around at stuff.
Yeah. And you find out that they had a security camera on the floor.
Oh, I'm assuming
I
it
don't know.
must have fallen.
Who knows?
The angle was like where the body was, like up, like from where the body.
Yeah,
was.
sure.
Who
It was
knows
on-
where they're?
it was
It's
on
an
the
advanced ship. Who knows what kind of like tech it had,
Yeah.
like where their
They're
surveillance
like
was.
everything's a camera. Literally everything is a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it cuts back to them again, to the professor and them, and they're like, "Oh, thank goodness! I guess they were able to pay for the meal using the professor's watch." And then,
And of course he's
the
upset
professor's
because as
upset.
it is, he's not liking this French world.
And then he's all like, he was upset that he had to give up his watch, you know. And then he's all like, he starts like just going on a tirade of like,
On the French.
damn,
Oh, like
vichy
on the
soise,
French.
loving
Yeah.
baguette or whatever,
Vichy
or something like that.
Like baguette eating something about
Croissant sniffing.
Yeah.
And then he's all like, "Oh, you should have saved some of that for the waiter." He's like, "He's not worth the material."
Oh, frog
Yeah,
like
yeah.
frog eater or frog leg
Yeah.
eater or something. Like, just going on and
So
on.
then they're walking down like these back streets, and Rembrandt notices, I guess, the thing in the thing that the professor took off of the Kromagg.
The
I guess it's
bracelet, yeah.
glowing or something like that, because he makes a remark saying, "Oh, what you got in your pocket?"
Like a glowing tomato
or
or
glowing
something.
tomato. Yeah, he pulls it
And
out.
you pull it out. You see he's
and-
got the. Of course, that bracelet's a tracker. Why did
I know,
he,
right?
Why did he hold on to it?
Oh well, the Quinn gets like he says like, "You took that, professor. You had no right." Like,
Oh
as
yeah,
to why
he's
he took
just
it.
like he's kind of like you stole from a
Oh,
dead
well,
body.
isn't it supposed? Well, was that to show a sign? Show to the people?
Well,
the
that's what the
government, right?
professor says. Is like, well, this is the
I
only
don't
proof
think-
that we have.
I don't
Yeah.
think
of,
that's why
like-
he took it though. Is this another clue that this isn't our professor?
Not
Nah.
necessarily. Well, you think he took it? I imagine he
You're
took it to like
overthinking that
study
shit,
the
bro.
tech.
Drop that.
I don't think our professor would have taken that bracelet.
Yes, he would have.
I don't think he would have.
You think too highly of our professor. He was
Our
also an asshole.
professor is
And was
a
misogynistic.
saint.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he would have taken
Yeah,
it.
like he was the best.
He
of
was
us.
the best of the best.
He's
Yeah.
the best human kind
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, relax,
just
bro.
feel- I feel like
You would
our
have taken that shit too.
no. He would've. I feel like our professor was
He's in high graces for you.
You're like that guy from the Mummy who finds those blue beetles, those gold beetles. Like, this will fetch a pretty price.
Oh, our professor? I
Yeah.
don't think our professor would have done it. I think
Mhm.
the professor of that other world would have, because he he wanted riches and he
Fame.
wanted fame.
Yeah.
Our professor didn't want
Sure.
riches and fame.
Well, his excuse
He
was
just wanted riches.
yeah. So the
Yeah.
professor,
This is riches.
so the professor says, "Oh, this is like the only proof we have of like the Kromaggs'
He's right,
existence."
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
So then, like with that, a portal opens up in the sky,
portal.
the red portal,
Oh yeah.
and
I was
then
going through
you're
that.
like
Yeah.
as the audience, you're all like, "Oh shit, this is a tracker. He shouldn't have taken that."
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
if an alarm sounded when you took it, it's obviously a tracker.
Yeah. So then the manta ray ship comes flying out, and it looks like the Quinn was about to hit the timer again to kind of like blast it again,
Yeah.
but he doesn't get a chance to do it
They
because
put a sleep ray on them.
yeah,
And they
it's something
all
like
go
that.
That's what
to
happened.
sleep.
It was
I
like
what the fuck happened?
It
for
was
us to
like
get
this
to the
red
was-
blast of light,
Yeah.
and like they
And
all
then
just like
everyone
passed
got
out.
sleepy.
Yeah, everybody just went like
Yeah.
went down, and then of course you get the I guess the Kromaggs. I don't know how they got off of their ship so fast, and it's so funny that nobody else was around in that
I
area
would assume they put
besides them.
tractor beam and they just.
I know.
But no,
Them
it
up?
shows them
Them
like
down
on
there?
foot.
Oh,
on foot.
shit.
They go down there. They pick up the thing
Yeah,
off of
so
the
they
professor
all
that he
fell
took,
asleep, and then they grab the
And
bracelet
then-
from the professor,
and then you see
oh,
them
when
grab the
Quinn-
timer.
Yeah.
When Quinn falls asleep, his hand just
It's
like,
like on the timer,
let
it's like,
goes the timer.
And then they also grab the timer as well. And then, obviously, they take all of them with them, and then they all wake up inside
Inside the ship.
It's inside the manta ship. I would
Yeah, it's like a
assume
cell.
inside
It's
the
a
manta
cell.
ship.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so they're inside one of the manta ships, and they're like up, like all up, standing up straight against the wall, and kind
That's
of
right.
like,
Yeah.
They
kind of
can't
like they
move.
can't move. So they're like, well, why can't we move? And then this Mary starts talking. She's
She's a Homo sapien.
yeah, she's a regular
Shout
person,
out.
but like
Represent.
so I guess she works for the Kromaggs. They use
She
her as
doesn't
kind of
work
like
for it. She's a
no,
slave.
do we learn she is a fucking slave? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
She was taken
so she's
prisoner,
human.
and they use her as an interpreter.
Yeah,
they don't want to learn.
Yeah, they don't.
Well,
They don't want to
They wanna
learn
learn
the
English.
the
Yeah.
cheap
So they
Homo
use.
sapien language.
So we find out the Kromaggs have like telepathic abilities, and they kind of use her as like to speak through her. So she kind of explains that you guys are being held up via gravity. That the Kromaggs have mastered gravity. So
apparently,
yeah, that's what she says.
that's bullshit.
that's what she says.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, and they kind of see a Chromag kind of like standing in the shadows. No,
Oh my
we're
God.
gonna get to that yet.
I don't know.
He's in the shadows, and there's
He's
like
getting
little
dolly.
lines or
He's
little
getting dolly
wires.
through. Yeah.
He's like, there's the little wires that are kind of like, it's. Do you remember those that like the 70s bead curtains?
Yeah.
It's like that, but not
Oh,
beads.
that's right.
Little
Yeah,
black
there's something
wires.
in front of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's just off in the shadows.
Yeah, you can't really make him out,
Yeah.
but he's obviously like the one
Watching.
telepathically, like
Well,
telling her what to say.
Like he rolls in.
No, well, they do show a
What
shot
was
of him
it?
later, but so he Mary starts saying, she starts telling them that
That they
that
killed.
they are that oh
You know what he's
doesn't
on?
she ask?
You know how like in airports,
That scene
you know,
of balls.
you know how in airports they have those like little like human movers, right? Like where it's just like the flash track that goes boom 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 boom. That's what he's
The
on.
little
Yeah, so they
conveyor
show
belt.
like that little scene of like the Chromag kind of like he's like kind of forward. He's
Well,
a little
no,
bit
it's
more
like
forward.
no. This is
And then
towards
it
the
starts
end of
moving-
the
yeah, towards the end of the scene, but-
we'll put a
Well, since you
clip
guys
of
keep
it.
on talking about it, I
I
might as well
know.
just bring it up.
No, we'll wait till it comes up.
So then she asks like who is responsible for taking down the manta ray ship that was there on a peace mission or something like that.
Yeah,
so like
she was
to go
saying
into
that
like
they
some sort of
were-
negotiation talks. And then I think Quinn says that he was the one responsible. And that she says, "Oh, you guys are prisoners." And then she stops and then she kind of like looks back towards the Chromag and then like, "Oh no, wait, you guys are guests of the Chromag dynasty."
Which I feel like you've already said prisoners.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
over.
turn back
Yeah.
and say yes.
I mean, the fact that you can't move at all is proof that you're a
Lets me
prisoner.
know what's
Yeah.
going on here.
So they're being transported to she tells them, "Oh, we're in a wormhole right now, being
They're
transferred,
going to like an outpost.
traveling towards an outpost
Oh.
on Earth, 1 something. I
Oh,
forget
there's
that.
natural numbers.
Yeah, she actually gives
she
the
does
numbers.
number it.
So then the professor kind of like says to Quinn, like, "Oh, it's like they can control sliding."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But he kind of does.
But
He
they
say
can
it to me? He kind of said it as like a
But he's
sign
next-
to Quinn. Like you hear that they can control.
I think
sliding.
I think he says it to like,
Like,
because he doesn't
He
know.
says it almost like a dig.
Because he didn't witness them like sliding up because they were already. It was Wade and Quinn who witnessed the sliding, so they knew they were sliders. But I think he probably explained to them when they were at breakfast. But then he comes to the realization if they can control sliding, they might be able to get some sort of information from them, like on how to track wormholes and how to possibly get their way
Maybe
back
I
home.
feel like he said it as like a dig at Quinn.
Maybe who knows?
He's like, you see, they can,
Yeah.
you can. I'll be happy with yourself.
So they're being transported. And then you get that scene of this Chromag's kind of like it was the same Chromag that was there in the background, but like he's kind of like he's kind of out a little bit
through
more.
the curtain, and then he gets pulled.
Not really a curtain, but
It's
whatever
okay,
else,
it's like,
whatever the hell's
wires,
hanging
the wire
there.
I
curtain.
don't think it's even
It's
wire.
not even
It looks more
wire.
like you know how like in butcher houses, like when they go into like a freezer of a butcher, they have those like things that like hit your face. You know, like
Oh, like the vinyls.
yes, like the vinyl,
The
like
vinyl.
that's what it is. It's more
But
like
it
that.
looks more like tendrils or something, like vines or something, like hanging down. It has to do with the organic
oh yes,
matter
the
that
organic
whatever the
matter,
ship's made
that's
out of.
right. Yeah.
Maybe.
So that's what it is. So like
But
yeah,
he
he's kind of like
essentially
poking out.
does a Homer disappearing into the bush.
Yeah.
forward.
Like,
Because he's like
he's
that,
out-
and then he's like
he's
goes back.
slowly,
He's like that.
and it's kind of like gliding back. Like he doesn't walk back. It's just like a float
Why the
backwards.
fuck you have to do that?
I don't know.
I
Just
don't know how he did that.
just another weird little scene that made
Yeah.
me chuckle. I did enjoy
He's
it.
showing his control of
Yeah.
gravity. He fucking
Maybe.
mastered it. All right.
He's all look at me. I'm like Dracula's brides can do that. Too.
Yeah.
Calm down.
So then from there, it does like a quick little like they're on this
Oh,
Earth
yeah,
11.
that's right. There is an
There's like a
shot.
outside panning shot, and it looks like a
Like a desert.
like a prison or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it says Earth 11, and then the Rembrandt's laying down, and then so is Quinn. They're like kind of like in cells, like side by side.
Mhm.
And I guess Rembrandt wakes up from sleeping,
Yeah.
and he's all like,
He's talking about how he's hungry.
yeah, he's like, I don't know if I should order the
Oh,
pancakes
he's
or
like,
the prime rib.
he's like, is it breakfast time or dinner time? Because they say that they're in a place with no windows.
Yeah.
They're in a cell with no windows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's no lights.
I mean, there's lights.
They're
but, like,
essentially
they don't know
like
what time of day
doing-
it is.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, like in Guantanamo.
oh, what's it called? When you or like torture tactics, apparently. Like
They're not torturing them right now. They're just doing
Well, that's
I mean,
not letting them
interrogation.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So they're messing with them. He's like messing with their sleep patterns. You know, just
They
keeping
wake
them
them up in the middle of
separated,
their sleep,
never like
yeah.
having all of them together.
That's torture.
So they're just trying to get information out of him, and then he notices that the professor's gone. He's like, "Oh, where's the professor at? Oh, they took him while you were sleeping." So then they call for Rembrandt to go, like, you know,
Down
so he
the
can leave his cell
corridor.
down the corridor to the right.
Door
Second
number
door.
2.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. If they gave me those instructions as soon as I got out, I'd be like,
Well, they
Where am I
keep, trust
going?
me, they keep repeating that
I
shit.
guess
So.
so.
And they're watching you too.
Wow.
So yeah. So as Rembrandt's leaving, Quinn's all like, "Well, you know, where's the rest of our people? You know, are we gonna be reunited?"
Yeah.
And then he
Rembrandt
asked,
says that.
yeah, and then Quinn asked if he can go with him. He's like, no, you know. So he tells Rembrandt. They repeat to Rembrandt again, you know, down the
Go
corridor
down.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So then as he's leaving, Quinn tells Rembrandt to
Stay strong.
Don't tell him anything.
Mhm.
So then he heads down these corridors. I think this is this where you
Essentially,
see
he
like
gets
when
to
they
the room where
pass-
they're trying to.
On the way though, he passes through like kind of like cases of glass.
yeah.
Yeah,
see
and
that
you see
there-
like an
there are
alien head.
aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which obviously
Alien
there must be at
heads.
least an Earth where
I wonder if
aliens
they
do
borrowed
exist.
some of those props from X-Files.
Oh, I know. I wonder. Yeah, you know, I wonder if anybody has like a list of what they had in there.
I don't know.
Because
There's
what
just
it-
like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So obviously they're like a collector of like different like stuff.
Cool shit.
I guess
Yeah.
obviously they've also killed a lot of.
Oh yeah.
worlds, right.
Mhm.
Is
I guess
what they're
that's
essentially
assumption.
showing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rembrandt heads into this
Cave
Into
like
this-
room.
it's like a
Kinda.
room. There's
It's like-
there's
and then
also like a
there's-
bunch of like there's like little spotlights and like little like looks like display pieces as well.
And then he
there's-
immediately goes into that circle, and in my head,
light?
so you see the
Yeah.
light,
Uh-huh.
the little light boxes, and
Yeah.
they're kind of in a circle.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have gone in there because in my head, I'd be like, those light boxes are something I'm gonna get trapped in this little circle.
Yeah.
And then he sees his dad.
Yeah. So there's
First time.
there's another guy standing there.
Papa
And
Brown.
yeah,
I
and you see
know.
who is essentially Rembrandt's dad. Starts talking to him and asking him questions.
I thought he wasn't real. My thought
Yeah.
was that
I
he
thought-
isn't real, but then I guess it's more like he is real.
Yeah,
It's
he
just-
is real, but
Yeah.
it's not.
It's a different Earth.
actually. Yeah.
I
his
also did
dad.
think it was
Yeah.
like a mind trick that they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have fallen for that trick?
No.
Well, the moment
You're
when
captured-
he kind of almost.
Because he does still start telling him information.
Well, it's the slip up though.
I guess like so.
He doesn't give him, like-
Quinn goes, don't give them any information, and then Rembrandt's like, Quinn did it by accident. Like Quinn discovered it by accident. We had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
But he doesn't
know.
give them like what they want either way, because they don't even have that information that they want. Which
That's
is
true, they
basically
really
they
want
want
it.
their horn
True.
coordinates. They
But
want.
I feel like I wouldn't have said anything,
Yeah. So.
especially if
It
they
doesn't
had
matter.
my dad.
That's
in
not.
there.
Yeah. I think you have to give them a little something just to like. Otherwise.
He does at the end when he's like, "Let's go to." And he does kind of go like, "Well, give me the timer and I'll show you where the world is."
Yeah.
trying to get the timer back. So
Yeah.
you do at least see that Rembrandt is, of course,
Yeah.
he sees the game of it all.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, oh, that's a lot of information to give them.
Um.
But maybe he just wanted to give them info so that they know they're not threats. Like,
Yeah. So he's talking to his dad essentially, and the dad's all like, "Oh, he's all like, oh, they came to our world. You know, they
He's
showed us all
making them
kinds
out
of
to
stuff."
be
And
like
he's all
good
like, "Well,
guys.
didn't we put up a fight? Wasn't there like anything?" He's like, "Why would we put up a fight? You know?" He's all like, oh, we're gonna
He's
go.
on Kromaggs rule.
Mm-hmm.
He's all like, it's great.
Haven't you seen
It's great.
Haven't you seen all the graffiti?
And he tells him, he's like, oh, you should come, just tell them what they want to know. You can come with us. And guess who else is going to be at this new world? They're going to take us to your kid sister. She's going to be there too. And then you come to find out that I guess Rembrandt doesn't have a
Well, we
sister.
know that he has a brother.
Yeah.
He does. He has
Yeah.
a brother. And you know what? Wait, does Rembrandt have a brother?
Yeah.
Yes,
You
he
know the
does.
actor
That's
has
the
a brother.
episode. He brings it up
Oh,
because
he
at the
does.
funeral.
You're right. Oh,
Oh,
you said my
yeah.
thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. The
So he
funeral.
doesn't have a sister.
Yeah.
Then that's how he knows. Is like, oh, this is not my dad.
And
You're
you know
not my
what's
dad.
funny? I didn't even realize what that meant. I still thought he was like an illusion of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I guess it is his dad, just not his dad from their world.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just trying to get information out of them.
What was the?
And then you kind of see the Kromaggs in the
chances?
background.
Oh yeah, you see them. They
You
like
kind of
there's,
see
like,
them in the background, kind of
glass.
observing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that they
That's
were
pretty
up
cool.
in like a
They are up in this
watchtower,
thing. I don't
right?
think Rembrandt can necessarily see
See
them,
them.
but you as the
they're
audience can
watching.
you know they're
It's pretty
there.
cool. I actually really
Apparently
do like the
they're
scenes
always
where you go.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
You see the
two-way
Kromaggs
mirror type
watch.
thing where they obviously can't
Yeah.
see him.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then I'm sorry, I'm just going through the.
And then it goes.
screenshots
They're
here.
back in. We go back to the cell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it cuts back to the cell. It's the professor.
I think this is my favorite. Actually, this is my favorite.
And then
part of
he's
the
like,
episode. I love this moment a lot. I think
He's
it's-
talking to Rembrandt,
Yeah.
Mhm.
saying, because he comes back from wherever he was since his interrogation or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were trying to flatter him and stuff like that, and trying to get information and he's all like, oh, whatever we do, we got to stay strong, don't give
Yeah.
it. And then I think, does that Rembrandt even say anything?
No, he
Rembrandt-
does. He does say
He
things.
does say
He's-
something?
He
He does
is
say-
talking to him.
He is talking to him when he comes in. He's like, "Oh, what they do?" Or he does ask him questions.
Oh, and he gives him
Yeah.
the information on like I was talking to my dad, or at least it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
And
crazy.
then Rembrandt walks in again to the cell.
Well, like he looks away and it cuts to a different shot of the professor, and then if you turn around, he turns around and he sees Rembrandt, or he sees Rembrandt coming in to his side of the cell,
yeah.
and the other cell empty. I think it's the coolest part. I think of the whole episode. I think it's pretty creepy.
Sandra loves
Yeah.
doppelgangers.
Wait, is this when you hear
No.
that person in the other cell across talk,
Oh,
or not yet?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. We get the
You
introduction,
do
And
hear
then
somebody.
which I thought was fake.
I also thought that was
That was
fake.
creepy.
Yeah.
It's a very good creepy moment. I think like it's really good.
This it is a darker episode than what we've seen. I feel.
Yeah. So yeah, you hear this voice across, and it's obviously
But I think
somebody
that's before.
from another cell.
Is that before the Rembrandt comes in or after?
No, they're both. No, Rembrandt is laying down while the other guy's talking.
So this is the.
So then
the
this is the fake Rembrandt. who's
the
there.
That's not real. Yeah, that's fake.
Yeah,
Rembrandt.
okay.
Oh.
So yeah, you
But
hear
he's like,
him.
I don't know why I keep talking to you. I guess I'm just lonely.
And the voice across is saying, that they're prisoners and that the Kromaggs like to eat human eyes and stuff like that.
Which is why I thought this was. Oh, I thought this was the fancy dress guy because the fancy dress guy had also mentioned that they love to
he
eat
did
human
mention it.
eyes.
Yeah, but
Do they only eat human eyes?
I think that's just a
No,
part.
I think
it's
that's-
like how in Promised Neverland they love the brain.
Oh, like
maybe
that's
it's like
the,
a delicacy type
yeah.
thing.
It's the same thing
Because I'm
here.
just like, what a waste of like your only food is like an eyeball. So
It's
they
No, I
kill
don't think
their-
that's their only
part,
thing.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
they didn't have humans. They
Yeah.
killed all their. Well, they killed.
They
Whatever.
enslave humans too.
I wonder
though.
I wonder when they started eating humans and how they discovered it was eyes. That
They
loved best.
definitely started eating humans like a way before like the tech was even invented because they killed them. So they obviously ate those humans.
Do you think?
Yes.
Do you think your thing is to be like, I guess I'll eat them?
They're Kromaggs.
I guess.
Yeah. So so then the real Rembrandt comes in, and then the professor looks over to where he thought Rembrandt was, and he's
So
gone.
good.
Oh, I
And
like
he's
what
all
he
like,
said.
really
He's like,
good.
you look like you've seen the devil.
He's like, I think I might have. And then he says that he seriously underestimated the telepathic abilities that
hypnotic
the hypnotic suggestion that
yes.
the Kromaggs have, because he obviously he thought he was talking to Rembrandt, but Rembrandt was never there. And so like, if this is what they're doing to us, imagine I wonder how everybody else is faring.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to
To
Wade.
It's a cool
Question.
room. I like this film.
And
This is
they-
another good room. Like it's
she's-
like
Wade is being
location
poor
setting.
thing must be
When I
so
saw-
dizzy.
When I saw Wade, I was like, oh, she's gonna crack.
Yeah, I thought she was like that.
She's like in a chair. She's in a very thin chair.
I would just
Yeah.
close my eyes.
And I think she's also being helped with gravity, I imagine, right? Not able to
Probably.
move.
She's
Yeah.
kind of
Oh yeah,
like
she's
in a
being held down.
platform.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's
higher
like a tower.
chair. Yeah. She's on the chair. It's like spinning. All these like random lights are like being,
It's
like shined
gobots on
her.
them.
Yeah, and they're asking her questions.
Yeah, they're asking her questions about like, are you part of this sliding like syndicate to like kind of like basically trying to like they're trying to get information like where you guys get your sliding technology from, like who invented it, are you part of a CIA, some sort of system to take down the Kromagg dynasty. Like obviously the Kromaggs are scared because they had they've never come across anybody that's had this technology, so they're trying to figure out.
I know apparently, but as it is, they don't know.
So they're trying to figure out like is somebody like somebody's tracking them now, and they're like kind of like on the defensive trying to figure out who are they and like what are their home coordinates, because they're very interested in knowing what their home coordinates are. So like and then she doesn't have any of that information. So they tell her, well, if you don't tell us, what would you tell us the information even if your life was dependent on it? And she says no. She's like, what if somebody else's life was depending on it, like Quinn? And I don't think she answers, right? I don't think she answers that question.
Oh yeah, it cuts off.
No, I think it cuts it off.
Yeah.
And then they go back to the Professor Rembrandt, and Wade's with them now, I think.
Yeah, and then
but nobody knows where
Quinn's
like,
at.
Oh, poor Quinn.
The best
and at this point, so everybody's worried.
He must be going through the worst.
Rembrandt's like they might hold him accountable like for the death of that pilot.
And so pretty much for all we know, he might be dead.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Wade's very concerned.
And then it cuts
to
Quinn
outside.
And he's like chilling in this garden, like a arboretum,
in some sort of greenhouse.
Yeah.
And he's just like green. There's so much green. Everybody's like, he's dead.
Yeah, I know.
He's dead.
He's in the best condition.
He's chilling, man. He's hanging out with Mary in this like garden.
Somebody's trying to seduce him.
And I feel like I've seen this set before.
I was gonna. I don't think it's a set. I think we've been there.
Do you think
this is in LA?
Oh, really? Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because they were filming in Canada.
So they don't have to film that in Canada.
That's true.
I'm sure all
like
green.
It
did look familiar.
Like
I've seen it somewhere.
I was like, I've been through this.
I'm sure somebody in the audience,
but I'm also like, I
feel
feel
like where that's at.
Like something like that. They must all look similar in some way.
Probably.
Yeah.
It probably just looks like the one that we see.
You know what the roofing reminds me of? The old style. The way, I don't know if it still looks like that over there in City Walk.
Oh.
It's got like that metal work up above. I don't know if it's still like that. I can't remember.
Thinking of like how Huntington.
It has like their like indoor. Yeah, it does kind of look like that too, like indoor green area.
Yeah.
Didn't we see the Huntington Library one in a movie or in a show?
Probably.
Too?
We probably did.
Oh, was it a good place?
Yeah, maybe
they filmed there.
Yeah. So Mary's there with Quinn, and they're kind of like discussing like
he's asking why he's exactly there, right?
Yeah, like she kind of sees it as like you're just trying to like.
Yeah, she said that she was able to arrange that specially for him, and that. Yeah, that the Kromaggs were pretty much going to hold him responsible, and that they were going to kill him. They were going to kill his friends and hold him like and torture him to get any information, and then kill him as well.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I just brought you here to say goodbye," and she hands him like this clear like key card, and you're all like, "Oh, okay." She's trying to help him.
Is confessing her feelings for him at the same time.
Yeah, that she likes him,
of course.
And then she kind of gives him like her backstory, like how she was taken as a child.
Yeah.
And that growing up, obviously she grew up with the Kromaggs. They were always constantly calling her ugly and stuff like that. And then so she was like kind of like raised to be like there, like to like work for them, like slave for them. Yeah. So she hands him this key card, and then he pockets it, obviously, and then they take him back. He ends up back to the cell, and everybody's all relieved because he's alive. And they're
like, "What they do to you?"
He's like, "I was chilling in the garden with Mary." And so pretty much he's like, "Okay, we got to get out of here because they're gonna torture and kill us unless we get out." And he's like, "I got this key card from Mary." He's like, "What do you think it is?" He's like, "I think it's a like a key card, to like open up their cell." So he kind of gets the key card and kind of like
puts it through the
barrier, the one splitting their cells, and he uses it, and then it makes like a noise, and then
it kind of made me
kind of walk through. I feel like I've heard that soundbite before. I don't know
Yeah.
from where though.
Mm.
I would have to hear it again, and then I
Sounds
might be able to
right.
pinpoint it. But yeah, so it clears the barrier between their cells, and they're able to like hug each other and stuff like that. Then he uses it again to open up their main cells so they can get out. So like, we need to get out of here no matter what, even if it costs us our lives. And the
Yeah.
professors or something like that. And then he's all like, wait, they're gonna stop, and they were gonna let that guy that was talking to them.
was gonna let him.
Yeah, was
again,
gonna let him out.
Wade, come on now.
So she goes up. She's like, "Wait, I was gonna let him out." And then the guy like emerges from the shot, and you see it's Conrad.
That's what I was
Conrad
gonna ask.
Benish, yeah.
Conrad.
That's
Yeah, that's Conrad. Yeah.
I was so focused on the eyes being like
The eyes
the prosthetics.
gnarly.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool
Oh.
prosthetic.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Because
he's
even
like-
in the credits, it's
it says
they
Conrad?
never say like he's not credited as
Yeah.
playing Benish. It just says
the guy for no eye guy.
Fucking the
Prisoner?
no eye guy.
No, I
hold on.
prisoner.
I haven't seen.
I'll tell you right now. It says it is. Let's see.
So is this confirming that they do eat eyeballs?
Yeah, they do definitely eat fucking eyeballs.
He's just credited as prisoner on this
Aw.
episode, but it is
He is
him.
prisoner.
It is Jason Gaffney who plays Benish.
yeah.
It's funny though because when they're talking to him across, it doesn't sound like him.
Sound like him? Yeah, I just thought it was some dude.
But yeah, it's clearly him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not leaving. He's like, and if I'm
Starts
not
fucking
leaving, he's like, neither are you.
yelling.
And he starts yelling for the guards.
It's like in the,
That the prisoners are escaping.
She's got no.
Yeah.
Oh well, maybe she didn't know he didn't have eyes.
Yeah,
And I'm just
sure.
like,
She
what
didn't
is he?
know. Yeah.
What is he gonna do?
Yeah, so then the alarms go off, and they start running through all the different corridors trying to figure out where the hell they end up hitting a dead end, and then one of the Kromaggs kind of pops up and then grabs Wade, and then the professor comes in and just clocks him straight in the head and knocks his ass out, and then they take off down in different corridors, and then
which Quinn sees a door, right?
oh, he sees. I think Quinn notices this one corridor that has some sort of sliding technology. So he messes with it.
Yeah.
All it was
his
is jumper
basically
cables.
jumper
Yeah, it was
Right?
literally jumper cables in a fucking circle.
Lots of
This shit
jumper-
was not in your gear in your basement, Brad. Don't fucking lie.
Well, whatever he did, he moved around some jumper cables and
Fucking
it caused some
exploded.
sort of chain reaction.
Explosion.
That's a
caused an
huge fault to
explosion.
you. They should not have that as a thing. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
So he tells the professor, he's like, I saw some sliding gears. He's like, they won't be using that equipment for a while. He's like, and the professor's like, well done, my boy. And you get these big ass explosions.
It's fucking is a huge explosion. Yeah.
So
And
then,
they're being shot at.
no, well, so these two, before they head down this one corridor, these two Kromaggs come out of nowhere and they're about to get shot. And then you see two blasts of blue, laser lights hit them and they go down. But then it's Mary. So she comes out from one of the corridors and she ends up getting shot as well in her shoulder. But she has their timer and she hands it back to Quinn. And he's just like, oh, you got to go and get out of here. And they're like, well, we can't activate it unless we go back to the world that we were
Is that
taken from. That's
I
the story that
guess.
he gives for this. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, because they're on a different world. Maybe that's true, but whatever. She had opened another portal, a red portal, for them to send them back to where they came from,
or where they picked them up. From.
Yeah, where they picked them up from in that French land.
Yeah.
the New France,
the New Versailles.
the New Versailles.
I forget. It's
Nueva something.
It's like a New Versailles. I think,
Yeah.
but
Queso fresco.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the spot. So then Quinn, he grabs her and she's like, "Come on, you're gonna come with us." She's like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm dying.
he's like, I'm not
Like
leaving
the
without
bird.
you. And she's like, I'm dying. It's fine.
And then he tells her, he's like, "Oh, they were wrong about you. You're beautiful.
That's why
You're
it's
beautiful."
so- they were wrong. You are beautiful.
So
And
he
then
says it.
so he leaves her there, and then he jumps into the portal, and then they come out exact same spot. Professor slams
landing
into
the
this
guy
guy, but this time he had
on his bike.
some
Croissants.
croissants.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
it's like
was
croissants
the
went
bite
everywhere.
Still, but,
Yeah.
but that's
But
what
this
I
time,
like. Rembrandt goes.
The guy-
"Come again."
the guy's not as
Croissants
mad.
were everywhere.
Yeah.
Flying everywhere.
so then but this time, the guy wasn't upset.
He actually laughed.
He actually laughed, and they were like, and he
They
gives
bonded.
them some kisses, like the cheek kiss,
Yeah,
the
and
typical
he's
French
all,
cheek kiss.
and of course the professor's like, "Oh, thank you, sir." Like
He's
that's
all like,
great, yeah.
I think after that experience, he was all like, oh,
I'm
he's
so
like,
grateful for the
Do you
French.
think?
he's all like,
But that was supposed to be the same guy, you think, or a different guy?
Same guy.
same guy.
Same
They
guy.
went
Same
back to
guy.
the same
That's
world.
supposed to be the joke. That's
Same
why
guy?
Rembrandt's laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's like,
Same guy.
"I would be like you again. Like, what's wrong
Stop
with you?
flying
What do you
into
get?"
me when I have bread.
I guess
Yeah.
having him again.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So then they ask, what happened to Mary? She's like, oh, she didn't make it.
Dead. Yeah.
And then it cuts
too.
back to the
Well, we hear
planet.
talking before it cuts to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a voiceover.
We hear
Yeah.
talking. Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
my mom's fucking face. I'm like, of course it's fucking that. Are you kidding me?
We hear talking.
What is that's so
I don't know
funny?
why you were so
I didn't-
stunned by this. Like her mouth was fully open for like a solid
Because
4
I
seconds, and I'm like,
Fully
duh.
believed them.
No.
Yeah. So it comes that Mary was like supposed to let them leave. She put a tracker. They put a tracker within their timer to track their movements.
Oh, that's what it was.
Was it
Yeah.
the timer?
Yeah,
I
it's the
thought
timer.
she had
He said
something
implanted in one of the
on Quinn.
guys. No, he said implanted in one of the people.
Really? I thought it was on the timer
makes
itself.
No, he said the one. He either said like
I thought it was
implanted in
Quinn.
one of the subjects or one of the
Yeah.
whatever. But he made it. The verbiage he used was that it was in somebody.
I don't know.
But
I have to
anyways,
rewatch it.
The Kromagg is talking English.
Yeah.
And he
He's like-
lied to us. I was
Yeah.
very upset.
So they're all like, "Oh, that she did a good job
Oh,
and that she for
that's
doing
so
this
perfect
for doing that
scene.
for them. That she gets an hour of free time within the garden."
Well, okay. Here,
Do you
my
think she's
question
crying?
was.
Oh, go.
Oh, my question. Oh, fuck,
She's
is it
probably
the
crying
train?
because she didn't go with them.
Yeah.
She should have
Oh,
went
should've.
with them.
I don't think
My
so.
question was, okay, do you think it's an hour every day, or is
No,
it only
let's-
one
no.
I
singular
think it's
hour?
just one
Just
singular
one singular hour.
Just
This-
that one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I'm killing myself in the garden.
Well, the
I
thing is,
feel-
she's got like that Nightingale syndrome, where like she's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
No, she's not.
She's
She
not
doesn't
Nightingale, this
love
is-
them. She's just.
Yeah.
she doesn't do anything to defy them. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's not Nightingale.
That's because they've hired her since she was
Oh,
a
okay.
child.
Oh, whatever. She doesn't have the
What do
strength
you
to
mean?
leave. What are you looking at me for?
We're done with
She
this.
Why
didn't
are
wanna
you-
leave.
That's awful.
She had the opportunity to leave. She didn't take it.
Yeah, because she's in an abusive situation.
Yes.
While she's stuck there.
She can't, and she already knows that there's a tracking device implanted in one of
Yeah,
them,
that's
so
fucked.
she's not going to get away from the Kromaggs.
Okay.
This wasn't a time that she could escape from them.
Yeah. Well, so they tell her she has an hour and then she has to go back to her cage.
Tear runs down her
Yeah.
eye.
And
And then-
that's why I was like, I wonder if she's crying because she feels bad
Yeah.
about
Probably.
the whole
Because
Quinn
she
thing,
feels bad.
or
Maybe.
if she's just like,
Only 1 hour?
yeah, like, or is she just so happy she gets that 1 hour?
Hour.
She's crying.
No, I think it's a tear
she's-
sad.
I think
It's
she's
'cause
sad.
Because of Quinn. Maybe she
So,
really did like him.
Yeah, so they're kind of just like the Kromaggs are kind of like gonna stand back and just kind of like track their
Movements.
their
But then they
adventures and
realized-
figure out, see if
They're
they
just
ever
gonna
make it
watch 'em.
home.
Yeah. That's what they're good at.
But yeah, so he's just like, oh, they don't have control over it. They just kind of slide randomly.
Yeah,
But
that
what's the
they're-
point of like
they're-
even following them then?
Their travel pattern was erratic because they had no,
want to see
yeah,
where they're from.
I guess.
yeah. So they're hoping they make it back to their home world. I don't know how they would know.
Them and the gang both. Them
Yeah.
and the gang both. You know what? I think the Kromaggs are rooting for them, which is nice.
They're like, you guys can do it. Get there so we
You'll
can take it
eventually
over.
get there.
Yeah. so
who
it,
do you? But see,
so
that
it
was
kind
my
of ends
question.
there.
Who do you think has the tracker implanted in them?
I
Who
think
knows?
It's,
Probably
I
Wade.
would assume it's Quinn.
Quinn?
Because
No,
like,
but he was.
He
never-
wasn't chilling in
but
the
it
garden,
would
man.
make the
I
most sense
know.
because like it was her plan.
Was it her plan,
Yeah,
or was it
because
their plan that they made her
She said
do?
he says it like it was her plan. Like it was
Oh,
her
he's
thing.
like, good job.
Yeah.
Who
So I
knows?
think it was Quinn.
Quinn.
We don't know. I'm
There's
gonna
there's
rewatch the ending.
There's a thought
and see if it
because
actually
I was
isn't
trying to
anybody.
figure out where that greenhouse was.
Yeah.
Right now?
For that
But-
thing?
Yeah, I was trying to do it right now.
Oh.
But it didn't work
Yeah,
out well.
that's a-
But
Oh.
I ended up in like a little thing, right, that talks about like trivia parts of it or like little things.
Just
little
facts about it.
facts.
Mhm.
And so they have
I don't know
a
the
theory.
She's like, I got nothing.
They have a theory of where the homing device was implanted into.
Don't say it, man.
But I guess the word Kromaggs is based on
It's not
Cro-Magnon man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is actual early
Mhm.
humanoids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Did
I
you
can't
not know
read.
that about Chromaggs?
I can't believe you had to look that up.
coexisted with the
That's what it's like.
Neanderthals.
It's always like a joke about like calling someone a Chromagg.
Yeah, Cro-Magnon Man, yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was it for that episode. It kind of ends there, and Kromaggs are tracking either someone or something.
I think
And,
they made it seem like it was somebody.
We'll see.
way the
After we
verbiage
watch
they
the
use.
ending, we'll see. And that was it for that episode. What do you guys? What do you think about the rating for this one? It was a 7.8.
That's fair.
7.8.
I'd give it
Yeah.
a 7.8.
I guess.
Yeah.
What this
Dino
isn't
and
the-
Bi- she always fucking compares it with
Yeah, like,
Dino.
what was Dino
Veritas.
Veritas?
What was the highest one again?
Well, last one we saw, or not last one.
Post-traumatic, I believe.
And what was that again?
Hold on, I need to find
Or an
it.
8.3?
It was here. Where the hell did it go?
It's gone.
Damn.
I was looking
Doesn't
at it.
exist anymore.
Oh, 8.3.
8.3.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I don't think it beats post
Yeah.
slide, so I'm okay with that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And
This
it is
one,
like
I guess it
a-
is.
Although it
like
does
a-
set
it
up.
is like it does set up, so it's like a big major like thing.
You have an
like,
antagonist.
overarching
You
plot.
You
of
need
the,
no. You
of
need
the
an
series.
antagonist. You need something
like
that
a
connects them.
constant
Yes, you do.
antagonist.
Because then I was like, yeah. At the end of the episode, I was like, yeah, you need something that.
But even in episodes going forward, it's not like they're
It's like not a
constantly
big thing, but
mentioning
as
the
long as it's
Kromaggs.
something, yeah.
It's just like an underlining thing that they
I
start
thought
mentioning.
the continuous thing would have been the FBI storyline that got set up in the 70s episode, but it's now.
Oh,
been
yeah, they
dropped.
haven't like
They've
yeah,
not-
they
haven't
haven't like
gone
gone
back
back
to
to
that
that at all.
Oh yeah, just like tracking them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then did we come to an agreement that that was taking place on their home world?
That's on their homeworld because they
Yeah.
talked to Benish.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was it. That was episode 12.
What's the
We
next
got one more episode for
Last
this
episode
season.
of the season.
Oh, that's
last
it?
episode of season 13. As time goes by,
And that's the finale for
that's the
this?
finale for
Oh,
the
wow.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll have
That's
a
very
recap episode
After
of the
that.
season. We'll kind of go over the just like the
Highlights.
just go over the highlights.
Whatever we
Yeah,
did on the
just kind of
first
like
one.
touch on everything.
Yeah.
What we
Yeah.
did, and then pick your favorite episode overall for the whole season.
Favorite world.
Yeah, favorite world.
Okay.
And then yeah,
I'm
we'll
on
take it from
Kromagg
there,
world.
and then
Mhm.
we'll start season 3 after that. So yeah,
Yep.
so next
That's
episode
crazy.
will be
That's
the last
already
episode for the
like
season.
out of 5 seasons. We're like
May
20th?
18th.
Oh, 18.
Yeah, the day before your birthday.
oh,
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have that'll be the next episode, and yeah, that'll be it.
Maybe well, I guess we have to figure out what we're doing for your birthday.
It's
to
gonna be
figure out
that
what
weekend. So
Time. Yeah, because he has
We're doing
he has
something
the
that
other
weekend?
thing. The
yeah,
other
because I have
weekend.
a thing on next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
if we're doing something for your birthday, it's going to be on a Saturday, right?
But it's gonna be
I
it's a
don't
two.
know.
It's
I
usually
know,
a
it's
2-day
it's
thing.
weekend
Yeah.
It's a birthday weekend.
Yeah.
Well, we can still do the episode that night, right?
I don't know. It depends on what we're gonna do.
Uh,
So it
all
might
right,
be
so
in the
maybe
morning.
the
It might be in the afternoon. It
We'll
might
figure
be in the
some- well, yeah.
nighttime.
Yeah.
But we're still doing it that Sunday.
Maybe we'll do it on Friday. I don't know.
You want to do it early?
Do you want to
Let's
do it
do it
Friday
early.
and then just release? Well, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't
see.
know.
I'll
Yeah.
keep
put it
everybody
on
updated.
there.
I'll post up.
Yeah.
Either
I'll
way,
post up an
either way,
update.
the thing isn't going to go on until next Monday anyway, right? It's just the
Yeah, just the
it's
live
just
stream
the live stream that
will
kinda
be done
changes.
either earlier or a day or two before. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be good.
right.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, hope you guys had a good weekend. Got to go back to work tomorrow. Lame. But all right. All right, everybody. Until next time, we'll see everybody in the next row. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Sliding Through Dimensions for updates and extra content. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on new episodes dropping every other week. Until next time, see you in another dimension.